Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the VFL game that we saw between Collingwood and North today. We're going to talk about some AFL listed players, 8 of them listed in today's game compared to North's 16. In the end, the discrepancy there was just far too much, perhaps. Collingwood 7-9, 51 to 19-9, 123. North pump the VFL Pies at Victoria Park by 72 points. And the overarching theme of the game was probably two things. One, the midfield battle was won quite clearly, and they impacted the scoreboard relentlessly from those clearances, from what it looked like. The other thing was probably the how many dropped uncontested intercept marks we saw in the back half and how many turnovers we had in the back half cost us a lot as well. So, look, 8 AFL listed players in a team of 22 players, a bunch of lads who are coming from local footy to jump in, and there's no synergy there as well. So it's tough, and it's tough on AFL players to try have their say and vocalize their reasons why they should be in the squad if you have a team that hasn't really played together. So we'll start with some good. Harry DeMattia, 31 touches, 2 behinds, 8 tackles, 14. I think it was 14 contested possessions and a handful of clearances as well. He is building towards. He's knocking on Fly's door, and it may not happen in the very near future, but if he keeps playing like this, it's going to be hard to turn or give him a cold shoulder and leave him in the VFL. I think he's close. He probably, some people may have argued that he could have played yesterday. Obviously, that didn't transpire. But he's putting some really good steps towards where he needs to be in that midfield position, that inside mid player. He's clean with his hands. He's a penetrating kick. He's a tackling machine. Yeah, this guy's he's found his position. He's played on the wing. He's played halfback flank. I think this is his position. With the absence of goodness, excuse me. Oh, that was rough. With the absences of Ed Allen, Lockie Sullivan, you see DeMattia gets an opportunity in the midfield. In his last 3 games, he's had 28, 28, and today 31. So definitely knows how to find the footy in the midfield. Jacob Ryan, off half-back flank, has built on a really strong year. He had 26 touches, and from what I counted, he had 4 intercept marks today. 26 touches, 24 touches, and 20 touches in his last 3 games. Doesn't really make a mistake by foot, and he doesn't necessarily bite off the most riskiest kicks either. So he's a real safe player, and that's not a bad thing. You want those players in your team so you know what to expect from them to a certain extent. Obviously, Will Parker had that position yesterday, if you want to call it that. And these are 2 players who, through management, through injuries, maybe through their form, they will find an opportunity at AFL level at some point. These guys aren't just making up the numbers for the VFL Pies. They are staking their claim to have a career at AFL level, and they're trending in that direction. Tom Mitchell, up until the 3/4 time, he only had 8 touches, but then exploded in the last. He finishes with 17 touches, 15 handballs, and 7 tackles. And I mean, the kick to handball ratio isn't great, but that is Tom Mitchell. He is a wombat. He gets the ball in the contest, feeds it out. That's what he does. So I'm not too worried about the ratio there. And the tackle is a given with Tom Mitchell. So we love to see that. I think I recall on the post-game show yesterday, a lot was saying, it's time to bring Tom Mitchell in next week. Look, it's going to be difficult on the selection table. I think he probably needs, after that, he probably might need another week just to build on that last quarter that he had before we consider him. And I mean, whose position does he occupy? Like, Ned Long is doing what he's doing, so that's not going to happen. So let's keep a tab on that. Let's earmark it for it now. Interesting positional move. I don't know. I've watched a lot of VFL this year. Maybe there's been a couple games I've missed where Ilaru Smith has played in the backline, but he played pretty much full time as the key position defender for 3/4 before he moved into the ruck. I think I would have to guess the reason. Look, I don't think they're trying to turn him into a key back defender. I think perhaps they're trying to get him to develop that Darcy Cameron game where he's able to intercept in the back half. So he had some good moments and some frank moments by foot, but I mean that's Big Roo. He's building on working towards an opportunity. It's not going to be this year. Usually the ruckman, they get like a 3-4 year apprenticeship before they graduate, and we decide from there whether they're going to play. Oscar Steen was okay. He kicked 2 goals in the last quarter when it was a dead rubber when the mouth guards were off or out. The ruckman for North was really impressive. I think his name was Goad, so he really narrated the game, if you want to call it that. He where it was going, he had the say on it. So that was that. Charlie West was a little bit more quiet, as too was Riley Mason. The supply wasn't there. The game was centre bounce into their forward 50, either a goal or a subsequent turnover that would lead to a scoring chain for North. So that was the day for Charlie West and Riley Mason. Mason moved into the back line in the fourth quarter. So they moved the Magnus. They pushed Steen forward, Rue into the ruck, and Mason into the back line. He did have a soft drop, Riley Mason, in our defensive goal square, which led to a goal late in the game. So I know he'd be kicking himself about that, but he's put his hand up for mid-season draft selection. I would have to guess. Feels like Collingwood are going to draft internally rather than going to other clubs for a Kruger or a Tomlinson, who we actually played against today, Adam Tomlinson, but didn't see much of him just because the ball didn't really live in our forward half too much. So couldn't get much of a gauge there. Josh Brown is we had 20 goal. 20 to guys. This game was pretty numbing for the most part. So I'm just like trying to wake up from watching it, not to sound like a prick, but it's just one of those games, man. Sunday after a big weekend of sport and everything else. So yeah, Josh Brown had 20 touches and a goal. He's averaging a goal a game. So another player alongside Riley Mason, who the Pies will look at in the mid-season draft if we decide to place Harvey Harrison on the long-term injury list alongside with Reef McInnes. Otherwise, there will only be one who Collingwood opt for. I'm not too sure, but I dare say we'll look to draft internally because these players, they know the system. I don't know. Kruger's playing well, so who knows? He knows the system, but injury prone. We've been there, done that. Maybe it's time to move on from that fantasy. We shall see. And that is the VFL report, guys. Let's look forward to Collingwood versus Hawthorn in the AFL next week, and then Collingwood VFL have the Box Hill Hawks next Saturday, which is another massive clash because Box Hill are the number 1 side in the VFL. What time is it? Can I watch it? Saturday, 21st of May at 2 p.m. I won't be able to. Okay. Thanks for watching. Go Pies.